Hi everyone, I am Brittany the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my subscribers. Today we are going to be doing a VR to channel days, and this is going to be the hashtag V-Day decks. So let's go ahead and get into prompt number one. All right, prompt number one is current fave, and for that I chose This Might Hurt Tarot. I actually got the limited edition of this in oh gosh, sometime last year, I think, maybe the year before even. But I really like this deck. So this deck I used for the one of the monthly challenges I did towards the end of last year, and I just thoroughly love how the colors, it's a very cartoony deck, but it feels like the colors are just sucking you in. They're so bold and vibrant. I really love the art choices, the display of diversity amongst people. I just like the artist's take on the classic Rider-Waite-Smith. It's also very easy to use. It's also easy to use. I feel like it can go with a lot of different oracles. It can be used for a lot of different situations. It's a really good just default deck, and I I'm not one to get like the warm and fuzzies over stuff. There are very few decks that just give me that that, as drag queen Mo Hart says, that ooh la la sensation. So this does for me. I can't necessarily put my finger on why it is versus some other decks. But this actually like just snuck up on me. I got this because I wanted the limited edition. Um, and I kind of always had my eye on this deck. And since they came out with that, I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and get it. And I just kind of expected it to fit into my collection just simply, but it ended up being like a fan favorite of mine. I don't know how that ended up happening, but I just absolutely love this deck. I tend to have the opposite problem with this deck where I have to force myself not to use it so much. So let's go on to the next prompt. This next prompt is going to be Galentines. So this is just like a deck that is fun. It's like spending time with your girlfriends. And honestly, how can I not pick out the Black Femme Tarot? This is by Letitia Shelton. She goes by Illuminati on Instagram. Uh, I just love this deck. It's funny. I got this because I wanted to support Black artists. I got this thinking like, oh, I might use it from time to time or whatever, because it's art wise not necessarily my style. But I ended up just really absolutely loving it. It's just the representation. I see so much of myself in this deck. It's really hard not to want to use it. And, you know, obviously when I say representation, I'm talking about of African American bodies, because that is the point of this. Um, so there's different body sizes, there's different, disabilities, um, skin tones, and I just, I absolutely love it. And there's like a bit of androgyny in there as well, but of course, this is all like femme presenting. So I just ended up like, this is like a deck where if I don't use it for a while, I know it's like one of my homegirls where I know I can just hit it up and we'll just pick up where we left off, and it'll be like we never took a break. See, so you can see the different um, types around here. This is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but it does have little oracle cards scattered in. I think there are 4 in this deck. So if you want to pull those out, you could, or you just leave them in. I leave them in. But yeah, this is a really good deck that just feels like an old friend. Like we could go kick it and, not talk for a year and then go back to it like we never disappeared from each other's lives for a year. Okay, prompt number 3 is lover. So this is the romantic, like this is the romantic deck. I had trouble picking this out, but I ended up going with the Ethereal Visions Tarot Luna edition. I either or edition would match this, I feel like, but I went with the Luna edition because of the diversity and stuff. So, the reason I picked this out, it's not like traditionally sexy. I do not have like romantic based theme decks, but the Art Nouveau style feels very romantic to me. Like it gives off like gentle lover vibes, if that makes sense. But again, like it's not like a wham bam in your face, like this is a very sexy or erotic deck or anything like that. It just has this soft energy about it, this soft romance that I really like about the cards. I think part of it is just like there's a lot of curves and movement designed into all the cards. You can see all of these swirls and stuff. It just feels very I don't know how to explain it. But it just has this soft like lover's vibe. And the images on the cards they kind of have that muted how to call it, like a muted sketch style, sort of like colored sketch style that feels very like soft, as if like I don't know how to explain it, guys. You'll just have to take my word for it. It feels like some of these even look like cheesy romance covers too, so I could see that. I just love this High Priestess. This card is gorgeous. And I like that the women in the deck are portrayed with such power. I think one of the knights was like a woman holding her sword. So it just, yeah, it, I like it. I think this is a nice, soft romance. Okay, next prompt is Wedding Day. This is the cliche popular deck. And what deck other than the Lightseer's Tarot fits that bill, right? um, I was gonna say that I feel like I have a lot of cliche decks. I probably have no more or less than anyone else. I actually realized that um I kickstarted a lot of decks early on into my practice, so a lot of my decks actually are not like mass market cliche decks. I didn't get this until it was on sale like last year, but I have always liked this deck. I like the way that the something about for me, and it could just be a me thing. Something about how the courts are portrayed makes it easy to relate to, because I know a lot of people struggle with court cards. But I feel like I relate really well to it. I also think this is a great deck to learn on. It is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but it starts to deviate from like being a one-to-one clone. So like here in the Five of Swords, it's obviously way different than the traditional Five of Swords. But you start to get like I feel like a deeper meaning behind a lot of that, behind the swords. Um and like this Judgment card, I like this because it feels very less biblical, yeah. Biblical, and therefore I can relate to it a lot more. I just like the choices that they went with for a lot of the cards. I just absolutely love the pentacles, and I think the majors are really, really well done. This is I also say it's a cliche deck because this originally started off as an indie deck, and it was hugely popular when I was getting into tarot, and it had just gone mass market. And literally everyone had this deck. Like, if you were watching any tarot videos online, watching any TikToks, any Instagram, um, you were gonna see this deck like 9 times out of 10. It's part of the reason why I ended up like not wanting to get this deck. Sometimes when things are too popular, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna connect with it. But this is actually a really good default deck if you want to get into like practicing pairing tarot and oracle, because I think it's very neutral, very easy to understand, and therefore it can go with a lot of different decks. All right, up next for love spells, we have, of course, this is our magical deck, the Everyday Witch Tarot. Um, Obviously, I chose this for the magical category because it literally is a deck that features witches. Um, this is actually one of the first, I would say, like mass market decks that I got. And I just absolutely love it. I don't use it as regularly like online because of this, like this glare happening. Um, Even though I really, really enjoy it. I enjoy the readings I get with it when I do my live streams. It's just that oh, like over time, this just gets on my nerves. I'm pretty sure no one else cares, but you know, I do. I've finagled with my lights enough that maybe I'll introduce them back. But I just absolutely love this. This is another deck where I feel like I could relate more to the court cards, so it helped me understand them a little better. Um, and I like the diversity in this. There's different age ranges. And like, look at this Queen of Pentacles. This is the Queen of Pentacles I aspire to be. um, I just absolutely love, I think my deck is upside down. I just absolutely love how they portrayed a lot of the cards in general. So this is still sort of a clone of Rider-Waite-Smith, similar to the Lightseers, but I think in this one it takes a few more liberties than perhaps Lightseers did. Maybe it's equal. Maybe it's equal. I'm not sure. But this is actually one of my favorite strength cards too. Um it's like she's in control of every single thing that's happening in this scene. And I like how like there's more of a equal balanced relationship with her and the lion. No one is ahead of each other. They're side by side, and she's petting him and he's letting her. In traditional Rider Waite, like the person is prying the lion's mouth open, kind of like gladiator style. Um which, yeah, it can show strength, but this shows more of a calm strength, where with a lot of that like active strength behind her, which I love how all of that meshes together. I just absolutely think that the artwork of this deck is really good. This has an accompanying oracle deck. So it was one of my first explorations into um pairings, like pairing oracle decks and tarot decks together. But absolutely love this. I used this for a story time that I did. It was so fun because there are people in every aspect of this. So it's easy to do like a story time with it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ascension does tarot story times, and I did one of them, and it was just so much fun with this deck. The artwork's lovely. Everything's clearly labeled. It's just a very easy deck to use, and obviously very magical and witchy, both on the fronts and backs. This next section is pets or kids, and this is basically like animals or inner child. But I'm going more animal, and I am going with the Cat Tarot. This is actually the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. Um, this is a classic clone. People are just replaced with cats. So this is a classic Rider-Waite-Smith clone. And I mean, just, oh, look at that. Look at the cat with her little kitten. And he's sitting out front, like pretending that I get, or she maybe is going to be the next queen and is practicing. And the mom is just letting her. I just love it. I love the high priest. I love everything about this deck. It has these like vintagey feels. So there can be a little like nostalgia built into that, but to be honest, for me, it's just it's all about the animals in this deck. I just like how um I like the decisions on things. There's actually cat diversity in this. You can see like this guy has a little bit of a burn or birthmark, um, but still looks quite happy. And then we have our witchy cats. I just think that this was very well thought out. We have more magical cats here. Very well thought out. The For a mass market deck, we have an eyeless cat here. For a mass market deck, the cards are standard, I would say, but they have been holding up to the test of time like no one's business. Like I went through when I first got this, used this exclusively for quite a while, and it's probably one of the it's held up probably the best out of a lot of my mass market decks. Even some of my indie decks. Look, this guy has tattoos all over him. He's an edgy cat. I just absolutely love this deck. I mean, if you're looking for an animal deck and you're a crazy cat lady like me, you really can't go wrong. In my opinion, it's my channel, so it's my opinion. I think this is the best cat deck out there. There are quite a few cat decks, but this one is the best. You guys can fight me about it in the comments. So for the next section, this is the breakup deck. This is decks that just aren't working out for you. And I hate for it to be this deck. This is actually The Wandering Spirit by Honolulu. I kickstarted this because one, it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, it's a gorgeous deck. I almost put it in the luxury one, a prompt coming up, but it fit more into this category. I've tried to use it and I just don't connect with it. I don't feel like I can give my best in terms of readings. I'm never gonna get rid of it though. It's part of my collection. It's meaningful to me in other ways because Honolulu, like, I've actually met her. We worked our fashion shows. She's so sweet, and I follow her career and just have seen her growth over the years. So this deck is more meaningful to me in that way than actually using it as a tarot deck. So when I look at it, it makes me happy. When I hold it, it makes me happy. It makes me think of her. But I simply can't string things together. It's like I have tried and I can get through it. I can get through reading, but it's difficult and very exhausting. The artwork is very macabre, but it has this soft romance in it as well, similar to what I was talking about with the previous deck, but I can't connect with it. And it's funny because I've given people readings with it and they just talk about how much they love it. They love the energy they get from this deck. But I just feel like if I'm giving someone a reading and I feel like I'm struggling to connect with it, I'm doing them a disservice, whether it be paid, free, or for tip or whatever. So I have tried to use this out on a few of my live streams, and I know people just rave over this deck. But I just I just can't connect with it. And maybe I need to spend some one-on-one time with it, similar to what I did with my the Wild Unknown. But the problem is now I have so many decks and trying to spend time with all of them, it ends up being pushed down the priority list. But I mean, it's gorgeous. It has all the colors I love. It has this rose petal finish. It has this soft matte foiling on the edges, and it has the matte foiling on the cards. Um, yeah, you can see that here. Like, see how that moon is lit up. So it has literally everything going for it that I love in a deck that makes it just feel so luxurious and inviting, but I just can't connect with it the way that I want to. All right, matchmaker. So this prompt is a pairing that I really like. Actually, I like a lot of pairings with this deck, but I actually used the light seers in an earlier prompt, so I went with the number 2, which is the Meraki Tarot. Um, the Meraki Tarot almost made it into my animal portion as well, but I decided that the Cat Tarot outweighs this, in my opinion. So, I really like these together. I think it actually goes better with light seers just a little bit, but I like showing slightly off the wall, pairings. The colors pop on this a little bit, but I feel like the energy and the feeling you get from the cards matches up really, really well. In fact, if you have the light seers and really like it and you're kind of wanting to like step into the world of indie decks, I do recommend this, the Meraki Tarot. It feels like if the Meraki Tarot feels very much like the Light Seers Tarot, but with animals. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is just such a lovely pairing. Um, maybe this goes together better than I remember. But I really like, I don't know how to, this is a very default deck for Oracle. In the same way that I mentioned before that Light Seers is a very default deck. And I think if you're trying to get into the world of pairings, try to see how things work, this is very much a neutral Oracle deck that you can do a lot of different tests with. So I think that this, if you're looking to get into that world, or maybe you've had trouble and you're trying to find out what better works for you, maybe check out Signs of the Times and see if that works. And you can have different decks you can try it with. But yeah, this is quite gorgeous. I love this pairing. I think I'll stop there because that's just so lovely. But yep, this is my matchmaker prompt. All right, next one is anti-Valentine's Day. Um, I it's really not like an anti-romance. It's more so this prompt is less popular decks. This is an indie deck. This is the Eldridge Overload. I don't want to say it's less popular, but I think by the nature of just being an indie deck, it already is less popular than mass market. And then on top of that, it's a very niche indie deck. It's not like the Meraki Tarot probably suits a lot more people than this would. This is a very alien cyberpunk kind of deck, and I felt like, what better to be anti-Valentine's than cyberpunk, right? Or just punk in general. um I love this deck. I love the colors. I actually had to stop myself from using this so much when I got it because that's how much I liked it. Like, I had to put it on the back of my shelf just so I would use other things and force myself to rotate. But see, look, here's another strength card that I absolutely love. Here she is. She's standing over the tiger, but it's more so in a friendly manner, and the tiger is enjoying some pets. It's just a very calm uh, relationship they seem to have. And I think too, when I think of Valentine's Day, you think of like reds, pinks, whites, very muted, soft, like romantic colors. And this is just so like pop of neon in your face, so colorful. It's just it feels like if I wanted to say screw you to Valentine's Day, it would definitely be with this deck. um I will say too, for an indie deck, the cards are a little thinner, but I like that. This is my this is my thinness preference. And it kind of feels like the Cats Rule the Earth tarot, if you have that. And I just absolutely freaking love this deck. All right, we're getting to the end. We have two more. This next prompt is send a Valentine. So this is a gift worthy deck. This is the Philly Tarot. So this is also indie. This is a very niche deck. This is based off of the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the only Philadelphia that matters, where I was born and raised. So I have a deep nostalgia for a lot of this. All of the artwork is paying homage to either a part of Philly or people like famous people from Philly. And I just absolutely love it. So they changed it's a Rider-Waite Smith clone, but they changed some of the like suits. So the pentacles are the Metro coins, and if you're old enough to remember Metro coins, you probably have back pain. They changed the uh let me see. Hold on one sec. Yeah, okay. They changed the wands to the paper clips, which is a famous art installation in Philly. We have the Rocky statue. They changed the cups to cheesesteaks, which is just hilarious. And then they changed the swords to quills, like feathers, reminiscent um of like the writing quill associated with like Benjamin Franklin and stuff. We have an Always Sunny reference in the world. And it's just I just love this. I would give this to people, especially like if they hated Philly. Like it would be such a Philly thing to do to give this to I would give this to one of my friends who like was rooting for the Cowboys or something and be like, "Here you go. Happy Super Bowl." um but I absolutely love it. The creator is also very kind. So if you're into like Philly stuff, I recommend getting your hands on this. It has a nice thick card stock too. It's on the thicker end of my range that I enjoy. So it's very shuffleable, very manageable. Just quite lovely. Lovely cards overall. It has a nice snap to it. I will say though, the foiling, yeah, your girl tore that up. So I'm very rough with foiling, and the foiling on the bright foiling doesn't last as long. Okay, the last section, gotta zoom out for this one. The last section is day lingerie, which is our expensive, luxurious kind of thing. This one was really hard because I don't think I have any one single deck. I did mention that my Wandering Spirits is probably the most luxurious in terms of like maybe it costs a little more, it looks expensive and it feels expensive. But outside of that, I couldn't find anything that matched that. So I am pulling out the set. This is the Green Glyphs collection by James R. Eads. He's the creator of Prisma Visions, which you've seen on my channel multiple times. And this set includes, I believe this is the runes. This is Lenormand. This is the Oracle, and then this is the tarot. So I'm just going to flip through a little bit of this book and then a little bit of the tarot so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this set comes with this book. This guidebook fully encompasses everything from this set. So it has all the rune meanings, it has all the Lenormand meanings, Oracle, tarot, so forth, right? And it's just so well put together, so well designed. The pages are thick and they have that like it smells so good too. But it has that like the glossy coated stuff. So When you get the set, it comes with this book. But if you only bought them individually, there are still guidebooks in there, and you'll kind of see that in a second. So I just absolutely love how gorgeous this is, how luxurious this feels. This is a hardback book, and the binding is just top notch. And the front feels almost like the vegan leather kind of stuff. So I should probably take this off. It's just like a sleeve, but I keep everything. So staying on there. Okay, then this is the tarot. So again, I mentioned that there's still a guidebook in here. Um, and then here are the cards. All of the cards are the same size, so you can combine them. That feels very weird to me. I know, like, it's talked about, like, it's given as an option, but it feels very weird to me. Let me zoom in a little so you guys can see the cards. So these are like mini cards, but the artwork is um a little on the minimalistic side, but I actually like, some are more minimal than others. But this is definitely not like an intro deck. I think that this is probably for the more experienced reader. Um, there's intricacies built into it as well. Like, the colors are supposed to be indicative of certain meanings. Like, more red is more negative, blues are more positive, yellows are something like I can't remember anymore. But I think that this is just a really uniquely drawn deck. And if you ever follow James R. Eads or Prisma Visions on like Instagram, you can really see their art process for a lot of things. He really puts a lot of time and effort into the creation of these cards. Not saying other people don't, it's just maybe I don't follow them, so I don't see it all the time. But because of that, it definitely gives it a very luxurious feel. The cards are a nice card stock. The whole set, the whole unboxing of it feels very expensive. And just because the cards themselves are so unique, like the artwork and the actual shape of the cards, this concept of having correlations between the other cards in the set just makes it feel like a whole experience that you sometimes don't get with other cards. But they are quite lovely. um I don't use this as often, but I probably should. I should probably go through and explore it more. One of the I was more so using the Normand in this, because I decided I'm going to explore that. So this is part of the reason why I didn't really use the tarot as much. I tend to use the Oracle and the Lenormand more. But I mean, again, I always explain foiling doesn't really last long in my household. I'm a little tougher on the cards. So it is what it is. But even the box is nice. Like, the holographic on the entire thing. The fact that these are nice individual swing tab boxes with the magnetic closure, the whole thing start to finish just feels very luxurious. Um and I just absolutely love it. I will make sure to put links to the other videos, the main VR, and then I'll make sure to link the decks that I believe all of them are still available. So I'll put links to the decks in there. If you would like to get anything from Prisma Visions, I do have a code, so I'll make sure to include that as well. And just so you know, Prisma Visions has a new version coming out, version 3, I think. So if you have been wanting, you had your eye on that and kind of want to get a quick discount, you can use that code. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this Valentine's Day VR. It was so much fun. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.